It is Friday, October 7th, 2022. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented by our very good friends over at SeatGeek. We're going to tell you how somebody is about to win $1,000 to use on their SeatGeek app. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, along for the ride as well. Happy playoffs!
Thank the Lord. Did you say $1,000?
$1,000 to use on your SeatGeek app. Yeah, because we've got our question of the wild card round that's coming your way in just a few minutes. And it was a great round of questions. I got to tell you, people sent them in droves. They did a great job. They challenged us. Some were funny. Some made us really think. We'll tell you which one we're using a little later in the show.
We picked a good one, I think, that really fits our show. I can't put into words how excited I am that playoff baseball is here. I got my playoff. Oh, wait, they're not in the playoffs. Well, it doesn't matter. Go Rangers. Hat.
Okay.
A little bit. This is a fire outfit. This is my Mark Teixeira outfit.
Oh, it looks good. Yeah. Well, hopefully you have his bank account too. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a question per team in each series. So this is going to be fast paced. So everybody buckle up for safety. We're going to try something new. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's start with the one at Citi Field. Padres at Mets. How worried are you that New York can't shake off the fact that they led the NL East for 175 out of 184 baseball days, and now they have to play in the wild card round?
I'm not worried one bit about this team. Look, dude, it's not like you sit in the clubhouse saying, ooh, we get in first place, we're going to get that bye, blah, blah, blah. Dude, your eyes are still set on the season. You got to get there. You understand that. And you know what? At the end of the year, you didn't get the bye. No big deal. They've had several days now to get over it. This is a very professional team. We've talked about the clubhouse. It doesn't matter. They have work to do. They're going to go to work, Chris.
The thing I liked about them is that after they lost the lead, they did get back to work. And they could have been crying in their towels. No, they put the pressure on Atlanta to actually have to win something against the Miami Marlins. So that was good. Also, the Mets ended up getting 101 wins. That's the most since that World Championship team in 1986. I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm worried about? That they won't have Starling Marte. Like, that is a big, big issue. I mean, Jesus, the guy missed 40 games, 44 games. He still led the team in steals. You know, he's a good defender. He's obviously a great base runner. He's got some serious pop, and that's the thing. To me, that's a bigger deal than having to play an extra round.
I agree. This is something that they're already over. They're ready to go. And the Marte thing is tough. What a playoff kind of player he can be. A tough blow for the Mets for sure.
And it's interesting because I think as a team, they hit 171 homers. More than half of them, though, came from just three guys in Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, Eduardo Escobar. Somebody else going to have to deliver a big-time pop at some point over the Padres if they expect to move on and face the Los Angeles Dodgers in the divisional round. All right, question from the San Diego side of things. Do you expect Yu Darvish to outpitch Max Scherzer in Game 1?
I don't know if outduel's the right word, Chris. I mean, I expect them to go toe-to-toe. How about that? I mean, both these guys had success against either team. Darvish had two really good starts against the Mets. Scherzer had one really good start. I mean, 6 innings, 2 earned runs against the Padres. I'll give that really good. It's a quality start. Here's what I see happening, okay? I see 1 or 2 big at-bats. I think Darvish and Scherzer neutralize the offenses. I see 1 or 2 big at-bats, and I see Juan Soto, who has clipped Max Scherzer this year, having a big at-bat, maybe hitting a homer. He's 1 for 3 with 3 walks for a 2-dotter against Scherzer. I know it's a small sample size, but I just like that matchup.
Okay. There are a lot of guys that haven't done very well in that Padres lineup against Max Scherzer, and that's why I think I'm going to say no. Machado's got like a 660 OPS. Jake Cronenworth hitless in 13 at-bats against Scherzer. Will Myers, who's a guy they've talked about maybe even starting in center field, even though he really doesn't play there anymore. He's got a couple of homers against Scherzer, could do a little bit of damage. When you look at it from the other side of things, I think a perfect Yu Darvish line is like 3 runs, 6 innings, 1 homer given up, bunch of strikeouts, hopefully not too many walks. I think that if you were to ask Bob Melvin, would he take that line right now, regardless of whether it's better than Max Scherzer? He'd say, sign me up right now.
6 innings, 3 runs?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. I think so, maybe. I got 2 quick points on this. Where's that pitcher that hit the grand slam off Max? Get him back on the Padres. And 2, actually, you're wrong, Chris. Actually, you're wrong. Manny Machado has a 496 OPS against Max Scherzer. It's worse.
Oh, that's even worse.
8 for 50 in his career. A
lot
of
you know what it
bats.
is? You know what it is? The team is 660. That's what it is. My God, sorry. I was trying to build
That's
up
not even that
Machado.
bad then. 660 because I'm sure the league average is way worse against Max Scherzer.
Probably. Why don't you pick a winner in this series? We'll do that each round. What do you got?
I did already. I said the Padres, their pitchers are coming in super hot. And the Mets starters maybe are cooling down a little bit. I'm a little bit worried about that blister with DeGrom. I already did this with talking baseball. Padres I picked.
I'm just going to throw in a hat.
Oh, baby.
There you go. I bring props. I think the Mets, because I want to see the Mets Dodgers. Although Padres Dodgers would be fun in filled stadiums because we didn't get that a couple years ago. That would be good. I think this one, but I do think it goes 3 games. And so I think that DeGrom is going to have to pitch, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, but it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. As far as the other National League series, Phillies at the Cardinals. How shocked are you that the Cards ended up going with Jose Quintana as their game 1 starter?
I mean, I'm not very shocked. He's been dominant since he came over. 12 starts since the trade. He has a 2 ERA. He hasn't let the ball leave the ballpark, which is really important in the postseason. He's at 0.4 homers per 9. He's kind of their guy right now. He's the one that's going to give them the best chance to win game 1. And then I think they're probably going to do some sort of piggybacking the rest of the way. All hands on deck. They want him to have a good start, so they're able to do that games 2 and 3.
When I first heard it, I was really shocked. I have to be honest with you. But, Wainwright kind of slowed down there at the end. Miles Mikolas, the more I think about it, I think you need your best pitcher to go game 2. I really do. Because I think you need somebody that can slam the door shut if you're up 1-0. And if you got to save your season, why not? And I think Mikolas has certainly been their most consistent. Now, the thing is, most of their starting pitchers are not big strikeout guys.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have double-digit per 9 strikeout guys. In the world that we live in, that's odd. So, listen, if Flaherty were healthy, he'd probably get the ball in one of those 2 games, but he's not.
Yeah, both those guys finished the year really strong, talking about Mikolas and Quintana. So you could have, gone either way. 1 homer in those 12 starts given up since Quintana's been over to the Cardinals. I think that's something they really look at.
He is a 5 and fly guy, though. If he's in there after the 5th inning, I would be shocked. Phillies. Outside of Bryce Harper, who is the guy that needs to drive the train if Philly is to move on to Atlanta?
I think it's Zach Wheeler's got to come out and just have a dominant start. I really think if he comes out, sets the tone, and gets them a win in game 1, then they can mix and match. I mean, they got Nola for game 2, or they can do what the other teams have been doing and try to piggyback and bullpen their way in game 2. Ranger Suarez to someone. I think that's their best chance in the series. You could name a bunch of different bats. You got to step up. I mean, basically what they have to do, get some strong starts, hopefully by Wheeler in game 1, and then continue to hit with runners in scoring position. I think they're 3rd in the league in batting average runners in scoring position over the year. I think, as we look into these playoffs, it's about starting pitching and timely hitting. But Zach Wheeler for me is the guy. He's got to set the tone.
It's a good pick. I'm going to go with Gene Segura. I think I heard that he has played the most regular season games without appearing in the postseason. Yeah. And that will change now on Friday. He's got 1,301 career regular season games. He's been a good player for them. Even in the beginning of the year when they were struggling, he was the one dude that was doing it for a while. Then he got banged up. We didn't see him for a few months. He came back. He wasn't great, but he was good enough. But if you look at his career stats against the guys he's going to be facing in this series, he's got a 400 average collectively against Cardinals pitchers and over 1,000 OPS. So it's always guys that you don't expect, right? Obviously, it starts with Harper, continues with Schwarber. You expect Rhys Hoskins to do his thing, JT Realmuto, and then you forget how good a player Gene Segura has been in this league over the years, whether he's been in one of the 18 places that he's played. It's kind of weird.
He's a gamer. He's one of those guys that 100%, if you said, hey, Gene Segura is going to win you, he's going to win the MVP in any one of these playoff rounds, but yeah, that makes sense. A kind of a guy that can just that rises to the moment. I'd love to see that, man. That's really cool. I forgot to mention how dominant Wheeler's been against the Cardinals. So I do think my thing may come true.
Who do you have winning this series?
Who did I pick before?
See, this would be the great thing if you picked different.
I don't remember.
Different shows.
No, I think I picked the Cardinals. I think the defense is going to be a little bit too much to overcome. I can see. I said Arenado can break your back defensively. It can really hurt a team when they think they're going to get that hit with the runners in scoring position, and Arenado lays out for one down the line. Stuff like that can snatch your soul. So I think. Unless Wheeler and then Nola just dominate, I think the Cardinals end up taking this one.
So who do I go with? Which one? Which shade of red? I'm going to go with the Phillies. I'm going to go with the Phillies. I don't know why. I think it's utterly ridiculous. I have no reason.
I love
why.
it.
I don't know. I guess we've gone opposite in both these.
We have.
That's interesting. Let's move over to the American League. Rays and Guardians made a big deal about Cleveland's youth all year. How likely is it that it'll finally go against them when the lights are super bright?
I've kind of been thinking a lot about this. Okay. I'm putting myself in their shoes as a guy that never played in the playoffs. What would it be like to step out on the bright lights? But then I got brought back to Christian Yelich's post-game press conference. I don't know. Sorry, Brewers fans. I got there, but he said we didn't have an identity this year, and that was hard for their team to really, when they needed to dig down and find something, they didn't have the identity to lean on. This Guardians team knows exactly what they need to do to win. They just need to be themselves. I mean, take the extra base, put the ball in play defense, have good starting pitching, give it out to your bullpen. They know the recipe. So I don't think that they're going to be freaked out because all you got to do is go be yourself.
Yeah, listen, if they lose to the Rays, nobody will be like, really? You lost to the Rays? Rays have a lot of these guys have been in this situation. Heck, a lot of the guys on the team have played in the World Series. So I guess they're kind of playing with house money at this point. Does it scare me a little bit as a Guardians fan? It does. It does, that they just don't have anybody in there except for Jose Ramirez, who has consistent playoff at bats. That's tough because guys, they end up trying to do a little too much. I don't know how you slow your heartbeat down. Right? I mean, that's a real thing, isn't it?
It is. And I think that's the message that Tito's got to hammer home to these guys. Like I said, just go be yourself. You're going to have butterflies. You are going to be nervous. So what? Just lean into it a little bit. And then baseball comes. I think that's the thing. I think the lead up to all this is probably the worst thing for the guys. Anticipating what it's going to be like. As soon as they get out there, I mean, look, they're playing at home. That helps too. The familiarity of the whole thing. And like I said, all they need to do is just go be themselves. I think that's the identity they have is going to serve them well.
It's been a long time though since Cleveland has won a playoff series at home.
Stop.
And they won. No, I'm just saying. It's. I had to go back. I didn't want to do this, but my curiosity got the best of me. In 2016, when we made it to the World Series, we won series in Boston and Toronto just to get there. We couldn't close it out at home against the Cubs. We've lost several deciding games against the Yankees at home. We've won, when we've won series, 2007, we won at Yankee Stadium. Others, we've won series in Boston. We've never, since I've been around, it's been 2 decades since we've clinched a series in Cleveland. It's just
okay. You know what, Chris?
I'm hopeful.
How about this? Yeah. We've never had a 3-game wild card series. So
you're right. That's a good one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for slap myself in. All right. Rays have dropped a season high 5 straight to finish the season. Had the worst 30-game finish out of the 12 playoff teams. They went 12-18 in their last 30. Big deal or not?
It's not good. How about that?
Wait, did you just say it's not? So does that
I was
mean
gonna say it's not a big deal, but it's just not good. You don't want that, but I don't think it matters too much because again, just like the Guardians know what they have to do. The Rays know what they have to do. Like, they need to lean on McClanahan. They need to figure out a way to get some innings out of Glass now. He's looked really good. Let's get 4 out of him and just pitch. Just pitch. That's what you have to do. The offense is going to find a way. Like, they're not powerful, but they have some guys that can hit homers. Like, we'll see what Yandy can do when he's back in the lineup. They have guys that have been there before. Cash said it best. He goes, we need Randy to be Randy. Randy Arozarena, the playoff dude for your team. If he comes out, he can dominate a series enough to win you a 3-game set offensively. So go pitch and focus on that. And I think you'll find a way offensively to score some runs.
Okay, so these numbers of 5 losses in a row and 12 and 18 in your last 30, if I'm a Rays fan, that wouldn't freak me out. You know what would freak me out? They were 21st in the league in runs scored, which was the fewest of any playoff team. Do you know how many runs they scored this season?
I don't.
6.
Oh.
6. 6. That's what they scored.
That's gonna terrify the Guardians. What are you talking about? They have the devil magic. Wow, I do have that on my sheet, but I didn't even put 2 and 2 together, bro.
So that's it's weird because I actually think that Cleveland and Tampa, this is such an intriguing series because I feel like they're looking in the mirror at one another, right? They don't have a ton of pop. They don't score a ton of runs. Their starting pitching's really pretty good. Their bullpens, they rely on them. They have no payroll, although the Rays look kind of like the Dodgers or the Mets compared to the Guardians, or, 27th in payroll. I think it's going to be an excellent, excellent series. With that being said, who's winning?
Gosh, I have to remember who I picked in this one, too.
Oh, my God.
I want to say this, 666 for the Rays, 69 for the Guardians, and then you add an 8. So 698 for them. So we have some funny business going on there. I think the Guardians are going to win this series. I hope I said that before on Talking Baseball. I think the Guardians are going to win this series because I think this story has more to it. And I'm just thinking as a fan here, I think it's not a first round exit for this team. I think they're kind of doing something different. And again, they have the identity. They know what to do to win. And I think it's going to click for them. I really do.
Everybody knows I'm from Cleveland. And this is I went to half the games of the year. They went 57 and 105. 57 and 105, and I went to half the games. This team means so much to me and my family, which is exactly why I'm going to do them the service of picking the Tampa Bay Rays. Because I did this in 2016. Kipnis motherfucked me. He's like, what are you doing? I said, you never want me picking you. And it almost worked. We almost ran the table every round. I picked Boston. I picked Toronto. Oh, it almost worked. I picked the Cubs. So I am just telling you, I got to get this off. I can't.
I like it. You're doing everything you can. I like that about you,
I am.
Rosie.
I'm trying everything I can. Mariners, Blue Jays. Mariners in their first playoff series in 21 years. What's their biggest advantage in this series?
I think it's the bullpen. It kind of has to be. I think the Blue Jays have a better offense. I think the starting pitching is I will lean also Mariners there. So I guess pitching on a whole, I will go Mariners here. We know about the Bomberos in the pen, and I did this on TV, but I want to do it here. They have the gas, Andres Munoz, the filthy breaking balls in Matt Brash. They have the precision in Eric Swanson, the funk with Penn Murphy, and then they got Paul Sewald too, baby. Not to mention the starters they have. I think that's the biggest advantage there.
Yeah, I like the Jays. I think their back end is interesting because they come at you with so many different flavors back there. Romano's had a fantastic season. Simber has been really solid ever since they picked him up a year ago from Miami. David Phelps, who knew? Welcome back. Yimi Garcia has done a nice job. So they have had some good guys, but I'm with you in Seattle's pen. They don't walk a ton of guys. They don't have a ton of dudes that'll blow you away. Munoz, obviously. But the rest of the guys, solid. But they keep the ball in the yard. They don't walk guys. That's about it, because I look at the lineups and I'm like, these are two fun lineups. Like, if you can't enjoy watching this series, something's wrong with you. There's going to be a ton of emotion out there. There's going to be guys going nuts on both sides. The 6 is going to be rocking. But if I were to give Seattle a slight edge somewhere, it would be the bullpen, but not by much. Boy, these are like, if these teams played neutral field, they could play 100 times and it could be 50-50. I wouldn't be like, what? I'd be like, oh, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, this series is, I said it's my number one most aesthetically pleasing series as well. I think we're going to see some really, really good baseball come out of this one.
It feels like we've been waiting for Toronto's young core to finally arrive. So who's going to announce their presence on a national stage?
It could be one of many guys. That lineup is very long. I'm going to go with Bo Bichette because I want to see it. He's been red hot anyway, but I just love his swing, man. I love watching the dude hit. I love watching him go to work. I remember back in the day, see Rosie, on Instagram, I used to watch this dude hit bombs when he was in high school. They used to show up on my feed somehow. And I'd be like, damn, this dude hits the shit out of the ball. And now I'm watching it in the big leagues. Now I'm going to get to watch it in the playoffs. So I'm very, very excited to see him get a hold of one. He does like the shoulder, like back here, the hair kind of flips, and he runs. It's pretty. There's no other way to describe it.
It is pretty. For me, it's not a guy in the lineup. It's Toronto's game one starter. There's a reason that his name is spelled Alec with a K. The dude has been phenomenal. We've seen him. I think other teams can't stand him, particularly in the American League East, because he pitches with so much emotion. He doesn't mind peering into the other dugout. We saw how much fun he was when he was mic'd up during the All-Star festivities. And dude is ready. Did you listen to his presser the day before he makes his postseason debut?
Alec, have you ever felt pressure on the baseball field?
To be honest with you, my high school coach used to say pressure is something you put in your tires. So this is just baseball. It's just a game. Just got to go out there and have some fun and leave the pressure for your tires.
I have to admit, I am the furthest thing from a car guy. Not at all. Don't know a thing. But I think air is what you put in your tires to create pressure. But I understand what he's getting at.
You're the smartest, man. I actually didn't even think about it that way. But I love this dude. There's two guys on that pitching staff that the first time I saw him, I kind of fell in love. Jordan Romano and Alek Manoah.
Mm-hmm.
I like watching these guys pitch. He's fresh off AL Pitcher of the Month. I mean, he's a young gun, 24 years old. Like, I love everything about Alek Manoah, man. The quote, little corny, no doubt about it. But yeah, I still like him.
But that's why he's smart. He attributed it to his high school coach. Because if you say that, everybody's going to be like, what? But when it's your high school coach, you're like, oh, yeah, I had a high school coach who talks like that. And by the way, he's only given up 4 earned runs in his last 6 starts. 4.
You know what my dad used to say to me?
Go grab the pool cleaner?
Yeah, what, you want to clean pools for a living? You want to play baseball? Go get better. That's exactly what he would say to me.
Good for your old man. I love that. That is excellent. You have a pick? Give me a winner here.
I think the 6 is going to be rocking. But I think the Mariners are going to come out on top of this series, Chris.
That is unbelievable.
do. There's just something about this team. They want to bury me. I'm the bulletin board material. Go get it, Seattle.
Okay.
Yes.
Going with this. We hit it, dude. All 4, we have different teams that are advancing. That is unbelievable. I got Toronto.
I think Seattle's pitching staff is just a little deeper. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I hope we get 4 game 3s on Sunday. That's what I root for. Let me take that back. I hope there's 3. I hope Cleveland wins in 2. I can't take it. I can't have to work at the NFL Network on Sunday and have to watch a Cleveland baseball. Those guys have been around me. I've worked at NFL Network for 10 years, so I've had a few Sundays that have overlapped with Cleveland in the playoffs. If you think I'm an asshole when I watch the Browns, wait until Cleveland's in the playoffs baseball-wise. Holy smokes, I'm all over the place. They can't take it.
Last question on this series. Julio Rodriguez, first pitch against Alek Manoah. Is he coming out of his shoes to set the fucking tone?
Yeah.
Is Alek Manoah going to bow tie him?
That's what he's going to do because he knows. I gave you the stats earlier this week that Julio leads all of baseball, I think, in terms of first inning production. You don't think that they know that in the other dugout? Of course they do. So, yes, they want to set the tone. And Scott Service is one of those guys. Once again, I don't know if he's happy or sad every day because he's got the same facial expression on. But he's one of those guys who, former catcher, he's going to ride you. You start coming at our guys, we're going to have a problem, even if it's playoffs. It could be nuts. Could be nuts. All right, before we get out of here, it is time. We're super excited about this. It is time for our SeatGeek question of the wild card round, and we want to thank everybody for sending in these questions. They are unbelievable. But first things first, you know about SeatGeek. I want you to follow these instructions. Take your phone, go to the App Store, download the SeatGeek app because it'll get you pointed in the right direction. October is such a fun month because we've got baseball playoffs. The NFL's in full swing. College football's here. The NBA gets started in a few weeks. The NHL is right around the corner. And, of course, you can go see your favorite musical artist perform 12 months a year. And SeatGeek is going to help you out. Find the right seats. And today, use the code JohnBoyPlayoffs for 10% off of your order, whether you are a first-time buyer or not. You do not have to be a first-time buyer. So use JohnBoyPlayoffs as the code word. We want you to save money. Here's the cool thing. If you've never used the SeatGeek app, they actually rate the seats for you on a scale of 0 to 10. And they also color code them. Green, that means you're getting a good deal. Red, stay away. You might sit your butt next to Chris Rose. Not the best seat in the house. So green, good. Red, bad. Scale is 0 to 10. Download the SeatGeek app right now. Use John Boy Playoffs as a code. You're going to get 10% off. It is that simple. And now, are you ready, Trevor? We had so many great questions to choose from. Our winner of the SeatGeek question of the wild card round is B. Fletch 11, Billy Fletcher, who asked us if you could only attend one game this round, one single game, which game would it be and why?
I messed it up already, Chris. Can I tell you why? I kind of gave my answer already. I want to see what Alek Manoah is going to do to Julio Rodriguez on the first pitch and vice versa. I want to see what Julio is going to do on that first pitch because if something does happen, I think this is going to be a rowdy series already. We know what kickstarted the Mariners, a fight. Okay? They're down for that life. And then if that happens, what's Castillo going to do to Toronto's leadoff hitter, to Springer? I think fireworks are going to happen in this game. I hope nobody gets hurt, but I think this is going to be a very chippy series, and I would love to be in Toronto and party this weekend.
Yeah, because you got a couple of managers. Remember, we saw Schneider just recently start barking at the Rays. You know, they were up in arms about stuff that happened recently.
Schneider versus Service? Schneider's got the age.
Yeah, in terms of more youthful. Like, I know this never happens during the playoffs for the most part, but it could. A couple of emotional teams, a lot of young guys that haven't been in this situation.
A lot of high T
levels will be off the yes. For me, you're definitely in the right series. You're just at the wrong game. I think that if it ends up being Gossman and Robbie Ray in game 2 on Saturday, that's the one I would want because Robbie Ray wins a Cy Young, leaves town. They had to replace him. And they replace him with Kevin Gossman. So you don't think like Robbie Ray's sitting there thinking, all right, so that's who you got to replace me. That's who you're dating now. You don't think it's
really? That's what you're saying? I think Robbie Ray's going like this. Oh my God, I'm so rich.
That's true too.
My pants are so tight.
Yes, they are. Yes, Justin Verlander called. He would like his pants back. Thank you. Great job again on the SeatGeek question of the wild card round. We're going to be doing this 3 more times throughout the playoffs, before the divisional round, before the LCS series, and before the World Series. So if you weren't named a winner today, don't worry about it. Or you could maybe try and buddy up to Billy Fletcher and go to a game with him, because now he's got $1,000.
That's crazy.
Courtesy of SeatGeek to use on their app. That is awesome. I'm so happy for him. Really cool. All right, man. Ready to go watch some baseball?
Yeah, let's go Rangers. Let's go.
You'll be waiting a while. If you're going to try to flip around and find the Rangers on either your TV or your streaming device, you'll be ready for surprise Arizona, because that's the next time we'll see them.
I'm ready to, rekindle my relationship with the organization.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Starting.
We are back. We are back on Monday. We will be live. We will let you know what time it is, because during the playoffs, we're going to be jumping around. So if you want to join us on the AMP app, we will certainly give you ample time to figure out what time that will be. Everybody enjoy the playoffs. It's going to be a great run. By the way, who do you have winning the World Series? Quick.
Oh, shoot. Dodgers.
Over.
Astros. I'm going 2 best teams.
Good. Yeah, I don't think my preseason pick will hold true, but since they're still around, I got to pick Toronto over the Mets. I don't think it's going to happen, but if so, move over there, Nostradamus. You're going to have company at this company. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, and my good friend, Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. Thanks for tuning in to Baseball Today. Enjoy the postseason.